perfectly, she says. Great, thanks very much. Okay, so good morning, everybody. We've got Alejandro Salvador here from Salvador Tax and Legal. Alejandro is a tax and residency expert and also the Honorary British Consulate for Almeria. So hi, and Alejandro, thanks for joining us today.
Hello, David. Hi.
Okay, Alejandro, so anybody in the group's got any questions, please let us have your questions and Alejandro will try and answer them live on air today. So I've got a couple of questions, Alejandro, to start things off. First of all, a couple of people have asked me about the non-lucrative visa. As usual, people want to work in Spain. I have told them that it's 12 months once they start the non-lucrative visa. Can you just confirm that is correct, please?
Yes, okay, I will explain, let's say from the beginning, for people that are looking to come, so and then we can say what's the possibilities after this first year. Yeah, one of the options that people from outside the European Union have to come to Spain is the non-lucrative visa. It's the most popular way of coming to Spain to live. This thing allows you to live in Spain, but the thing is that you can't work. How do you get to that non-lucrative visa? You need to apply for it in the Spanish consulate in London, in Manchester, and I think in Edinburgh is also possible. You need to, the most important handicap to get to there is, or to get the visa, is the money that you have to show within a family. That this year, or at least in 2022, is 27,000 that you need to show that you have savings or you have income, regular income coming in of that figure for the first person in the family, and the second is 7,000. So when you apply for it in England and you get your non-lucrative visa, you can come to Spain and get your residency. As you said, this residency is for just 1 year, and after this year, you need to renew it, right? It's important. People, I mean, it's very tight, so yeah, they give you 3 more months, so it's in total 15 months. You can renew it after 15 months or before 15 months, and you can renew it 3 ways, basically. The first way to renew it is the same way you did it when you applied in England. That is just showing, among other things, the money that you have in the bank account, savings or income, and other options. As we said that with this thing, you cannot work in Spain. You cannot have a salary in Spain. There is 2 more options that after this first year that you can't work, no one can work. You can renew it and change it swift to a working visa. This working visa, the only requirement that you will have is that you have to be offered a job by a company in Spain. You need to be offered a job. It's not just saying I want to work and I want a working visa. No, you need to be offered a job, any job, with a Spanish company or a company that is operating in Spain. And the third possibility that you have is that you renew it business in Spain, and they just have to give the okay. Normally, it's not complicated. It's that you don't need to do anything special or hiring people or anything like that. It's just a normal business, and they normally will approve the possibility of that you start from the second year with this new residency based on your self-employed activity.
So you've told me that you've had quite a few people that have actually been, the 12 months has gone past now, and they've renewed, and they've gone through it quite quickly with hardly any problems. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've done these 3 ways. We've done it. We've done normal people that they want to renew because they are retired. They just want to continue as they applied. That this second renew is not for 1 year; it's for 2 years. You will get an extra 2 years, and we've done it for people that they renew with the money. We've done it for people with businesses that they wanted to start the business, and we've done it for people that are going to work.
And as regarding the money, the amount they need is, as we've always said before, it's the same as the first year. So it's not double the income. It is the same as you was been asked the first year. Is that correct?
Well, we must say that this is just in Almeria, the province where we are based. If you want to apply and show the money in other provinces, what I know until now is that you have to show 2 years. In Malaga, for example, is very popular, and Alicante, for British, for example, they are asking 2 years proof of income.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We've had a question from Jane about the nomad visa. So if we can talk a little bit about the nomad visa. Now, we were one of the first to talk about this, and very big thanks to you for letting us know about this last week. This is actually live now. The nomad visa is available. So can you just tell us a little bit about the conditions that you know so far?
Well, yes. I must say first that it's not yet in place that you can go and ask for it, because what we not have now is that finally the law is approved, and they need to prepare all the admin things at the consulates and embassies, so you can apply for it, because they are not prepared for that. I think it should be probably January, something like that, when everything is going to be available to apply for it. But what we know already is the conditions, and I must say there is, let's say, very soft conditions if you compare with other possibilities that to come to Spain to live. The nomad visa, what the government is trying is to bring people to live in Spain and work from Spain. This will be given to those that can work remote, right? So the first condition is that you are going to will be allowed to work in remote. What are the conditions? Well, you need to prove that the company that you are working for has been in the market or operating more than 1 year. You will need to prove that you have been working for this company at least for 3 months, right? And that your job, your role, can be fully done by internet, right? It's just
fully remote. You can work fully remote. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, I think this will be enough with a letter from your employer saying that. It's not such a big deal.
I just want to say that I said in the group, I did say you have to be working for a company outside Spain for 1 year, but it's actually 3 months. Is that correct?
Minimum 3 months. Yes. What you said about the 1 year is that the company must be created and operating more than 1 year. And this is done for people not to create a company and then employ yourself and everything at the same time and apply for the nomad visa. But it's just a requirement.
I've got a question. Sorry, a quick question as well from Jane. She said, "Can you be employed by your own limited company?"
I would say so. Yeah, I don't see there is any issue. The only requirement is that the company should be at least 1 year, and there is possibility for those that are self-employed, that are not working for a company, that are self-employed in UK or anywhere else, that they, with the same requirements, they could come and continue working with for that companies. You just need to prove that you've been working with a contract, not an employment contract. It should be like a company's contract where you are working for this company more than 3 months, and they will let you. I mean, you can also invoice or work for Spanish companies with a maximum of 30% of your turnover. If you are self-employed, of course.
Yeah. So on the nomad visa, then they will be classed as a non-resident in Spain. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, you will get initially. You could get a 1 year visa, and if you are here and the conditions are still the same, you can renew it for 2 extra years. And I think then you could get it for another 2 years, so in total 5 and maybe more. But in these conditions, you first apply for 1 year and then for 2 years more. The good thing, or I would say very, very, very good thing, is that for people that are getting let's say, good income, or not very good income. We will be talking about maybe 40,000 euros in this case. The good thing is what you said, that you are applied for a system that we call Beckham law. This was done for the football players, that they are considered as a type of non-residents. Of course, you are legal resident, but as fiscal residents, you will be considered as non-resident, and you will pay a flat rate of 24%. So no matter the income that you will get from your employer in the UK, your tax in Spain will be 24%, which is very good for, as I said, decent income.
Yeah, and on the nomad visa, if it's a husband or wife, that the whole family can come on that, or is it just one person? The whole family.
The whole family. Whole family.
Yeah. So just one person just applies for it, and the others will be accepted. Now, is there a minimum amount you need to earn each month on this, or?
I've seen in some forums that they will ask an amount, but the law is not saying anything yet. I mean, I don't know if they will ask or they will add something. The law that I read in full is not saying anything about that you need to show any income yourself. Of course, you have to show that you have your pay slips for at least 3 months. But I haven't seen anything that says that you have to have a minimum income. No.
Yeah. Now, Jane asks in the comments, how long can you stay outside of Spain with the nomad visa? Can people come and go as they wish with that?
Yeah, this is not set in the law, but I would say that yes, you can come, go on. Yeah, no problem. The only thing is that you will have to pay taxes based on the income that you have, and you have to be careful of where to pay taxes to avoid that you don't pay double.
Yeah, and somebody says, with the nomad visa, do you have to work for somebody in Spain? It's not. You have to be working for somebody outside of Spain.
No, that's the thing, that in theory, you cannot work for someone in Spain. You need to work remote for someone in the UK or somewhere else. It's no need to be in England.
Yeah, and would they need to have medical cover insurance with this as well? Do you know?
This is another thing that is not said, but in this case, I would say that they probably will have to apply for private health insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's not said yet. We will need to wait until the foreign offices, let's say, give you the requirements in writing. But the law is not saying anything about that. The law is just saying the terms. Do what you need to prove, that is that you've been working at least 3 months for this company, and how long is going to be the visas. But I haven't seen anything about the money that you have to show, or the medical policy. I would say that the medical policy probably will be asked. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to. I've had a question about the self-employed, the autonomo here. Now, we said that you can go self-employed here on a non-lucrative visa after 12 months, and people are asking about the pension on that. They're entitled to a pension, and how long do they have to wait for the pension on that? So if someone comes here and they set up as self-employed, what is the pension rights for them at the moment?
Well, the conditions now in Spain may change in the future, because they are changing every once in a while. Is that you need to be, you can retire at the age of 67, right? So you need to wait until then. It's not possible to retire before, except some kind of, people working for the government and so on. But for normal people, they need to wait until 67, and you have to have at least 20 years of payments in Spain.
Yeah.
The thing is that for those that came before the Brexit, what you could do is imagine that you've been working 10 years in Spain, and you don't have the 20. So what they've done is you could add the years that you worked in England to be able to get the 20 years. After the Brexit and with the withdrawal agreement, it's not so clear that you could add these years, and the pension service is not cooperating much with that. But in theory, for those that they've been working before 31st of December 2020, and they are about to retire, or they could ask, or they could add the years that they worked in England or any other country before them.
Okay. Okay, I've got a question here. I'll put it up on the screen. I think you can see that from one of the viewers.
How easy do you think it would be after a year or the 3 years to get a non-lucrative visa? But they mean after if you get the nomad visa, or
I presume they mean if they get the the nomad visa, if they get the nomad visa, will they be able to change to get the non-lucrative visa? Or they still have to go through the same procedures, I presume, for the non-lucrative visa, no?
Yeah. What they are saying is that you get initially 1 year, then you can extend it for another 2 years, so it will be total 3, and then another 2 they will give you. So in total it's 5. When you are 5 years in Spain with a residency, you are considered like a permanent resident. And I think that after that, it will be easier to stay in Spain if you want. You will not need to change to a non-lucrative visa. You will probably get the residency, the permanent residency.
Okay. Also, I've got a question I'm going to put up in a second, but this is a question that I get asked a lot from people that are British people, mostly, that are selling their property in the UK and want to move here next year, straight after Christmas. They're thinking of coming here, selling their property. Some people have sold and they're worried about the tax. So there's a question here we'll put up from a user about the capital gains tax. If you can see that, maybe we can answer it and just talk a little bit about, there is a good time and a bad time to sell, which we've talked about before. So can you just go over that?
Yeah, sure. And this is very important. And when we have meetings with people that are looking to come to Spain, I put a lot of effort to try to explain and that they understand how it works. Well, the first thing that you need to know is that in Spain, we work with the calendar year. Our fiscal year is exactly the same as the calendar year. So it goes from January the 1st, until December the 31st. So if anyone stays in Spain, lives in Spain for more than 6 months in this calendar year, 193 days, you become automatically, or you are entitled to be fiscal resident in Spain. When you are fiscal resident in Spain, this means that you have to pay for all your income worldwide, including capital gains.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful if you are selling your property, if you want to make cash your pension fund, if you want to make cash or funds that you may have, selling of shares, because for some reasons in the UK you will not pay any tax. For example, if you sell your main house in England, you will not pay any capital gains. But if you sell your property in England in the moment you are fiscal resident in Spain, you are in trouble, because you could be considered, well, you will have to pay taxes in Spain. This is very easy to avoid, and I mean, I will tell people to check the dates. So, for example, let's make some example. Now we are at the end of 2022, so it could be gone. But imagine that you are looking to come in 2023. So what you need to do, imagine that you want to sell your house in 2023. So you can sell your house in any month in 2023. For example, we sell it in April. If you sell your house, you need to wait until the end of June, beginning of July. I would wait a bit longer to make things easier. Sorry, to come to Spain to live. Why? Because if you come after the 30th of June of 2023, you will be living in Spain less than 6 months. And I said that if you live in Spain less than 6 months, you are not a fiscal resident. So in 2023, you will not be considered as fiscal resident, and you will avoid to pay capital gains in Spain for the house that you are selling. If you sell your house in July and you come in October, much better, because you are again coming and selling your property after this first 6 months. What you should not do is If you sell your house in February, for example, or in October, it doesn't matter. But if you come to Spain to live before the 30th of June, you can come. If you come in March, for example, then that year, 2023, in this case, you will be considered as fiscal resident. And anything that happens within this year, 2023, you will have to declare in Spain. So very, very careful of when you sell your house, your funds, your pension pots, anything like that. You have to do it before you become fiscal resident in Spain.
Yeah, and we're talking about quite a lot of money. This could be quite a lot of money you have to pay tax on this as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it could be between 19 and 27% on the profit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be money, and so easy to avoid. It's just putting the time frames very good.
Yeah, so it's something you need to get professional advice from, like yourself. I did hear somebody, unfortunately, in Alicante that did this. They just sold their property, and I think they had a tax bill of about 15 or 16,000 euros tax bill on top. You know, so they could have avoided that if they'd done it in the right time period.
Yeah, I must say that we receive people in our office that they are in trouble because they've done what they shouldn't do. That is that they sell and come to Spain in the same fiscal year, and when they are considered fiscal residents. So yeah, the advice that we can give is you need to declare that. That's not other option, because if they catch you, you will be in more trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, really, the most question, a lot of people are talking about the work. You know, they want to work in Spain and that, and that's one of the things that they're really concerned about, getting work here in Spain. So, you know, what sort of advice would you? Is it the best way to go? Is the non-lucrative visa? The nomad visa is really quite targeted at people that are going to be working online, isn't it? So probably the best way to work here is through the nomad visa. Do you agree on that one?
Well, I would say that depending on what you are looking to do, is if you want to work, I don't know, in a shop in Spain, then what you would need to do is you will need to apply for the non-lucrative visa, stay 1 year without working, and then from the second year you can apply for a renewal and exchange to a working visa. If you want to continue working for a foreign company, for your company in the UK, because you can do everything online, the best is to apply for the non-lucrative visa, that it will be in place, let's say, in 1 month or maybe a little bit more, because this is going to be the easiest way to come to Spain and to continue working for your UK company.
Right. Okay. There's a text question for you. Can you see that one?
We arrived in Spain in October on a non-lucrative visa and have our TA appointment. At what point do we move over to paying taxes on the Spanish system? Yeah. It links with what we've been talking. They did it very well because they are arriving in October. So in 2022, if it's October 2022, they are not fiscal residents in Spain because they came, let's say, in the second semester of 2022. So they will become fiscal residents in Spain from the 1st of January 2023, right? So the next the first tax return it will be for 2023 from January up to December, and in that tax return they will have to include all the income worldwide. I will also add something here. We receive in our office many people. It's coming lower people every time because people are more instructed, but there's people still that because they are paying taxes in the UK, or they are withhold the tax on their pensions in the UK, they think this is correct. And I must say that in the moment you become fiscal resident in Spain, in this case, in the case of this person, this user, is going to be the 1st of January 2023. From that year, you should not pay any tax in England or anywhere else. Why? Because the first law or what the double treaty agreement that we have with the UK and with any other country says that you have to pay, with some exceptions, but the basic rule is that you have to pay taxes in the place where you live, not in the place where you are getting the, let's say, the pension or the salary or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a question here. I think it's a question. Wife is working 20 years. As far as self-employed, is there an amount of time that you need to put in, or is it just the years you're self-employed? How does that work if they're not working many hours as self-employed?
No, the only thing is that in Spain, your pension is based on the income, on the salary that you have. The more income or the more hours that you are working, the more salary that you are getting. And if there's the same person working 3 hours a day is not going to get the same as the person that is working full time 8 hours a day. So it depends.
Yeah.
If you work less hours, your pension will be an average of the working time that you have along these years.
And I read somewhere, is this true, that you can now negotiate the hours, the years, so you can put on the best years of your pension and take off the worst years to make the money add up better? Is that right?
Yeah, well, this is something that is on a study right now. They wanted to extend the number of years, and that you take some years out of this calculation to avoid that if you were not working or you were working on a very low salary, to not to make the average. But I think it's not yet in place.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so so if people want to get in touch with you, you know, they can. There's going to be links below this video and everything. They can get in touch with you for the help on the visa. You're keyed up and ready now to help people with the nomad visa, I presume. Is that right?
Yes, I mean, we, as said, the nomad visa will be in place very soon. We are preparing for that to advise people. It's interesting that, and I'm happy to do these personal talks, personal meetings with people, so I can explain about their personal situation, because every person is different. And we can do remote the same way that we are talking today. I do with many people that are still in England, and they are looking to come to live here, and it's good that they prepare. No, it's not just the where you go, the house that you are buying, or other things, because you could get surprises in taxes if you don't do your homework and understand more or less the system.
Okay, another question for you there, just come in.
If we have savings in our English bank account and move this to our Spanish bank account, would this be classed as income, and would we have to pay it? Well, this is a question that I'm very frequently asked, and the answer is anything that you earned before you became fiscal resident in Spain is yours, and it won't pay any tax in Spain. So no matter that you have 1 million, 3 million in your bank account, or in deposits, in funds, that you will just pay from the day you become fiscal resident on the profit that this money is making. For example, you have a deposit, and now the interest rate is getting a bit higher, that with 3 million euros that you are getting from that, a small interest, you will have to include in your tax return just the interest that you are getting every year, nothing to do with the money that you had before. So it's very important that people understand that anything that you earned before and paid taxes in your country of origin will not be taxed in Spain. It's just, let's say, the profit you are making with these assets. The same as a house. With a house, of course, you cannot tax again. So if you rent it, for example, you will have to declare also in Spain, the same as in England, and you just will be paying taxes on the profit, but nothing to do with what it was before. It was yours before.
Okay, somebody coming here to Spain in March. Can you answer this question for them?
Good morning. We are moving to Spain March next year. So yes, we will be fiscal resident and will declare our pension for tax reason. Do we still declare the house sale money from UK, which was sold in February 2022? No, that's the best what you've done. You sold in February 2022. That belongs to the fiscal year of 2022, and you are coming in March 2023. So anything that happens in 2022 or before belong to the place where you were fiscal resident before. Anything that happens from the 1st of January 2023 will be taxed in Spain. They did very well. That's how it should be.
Good. I've done it the correct way. Okay, another question for you.
I'm looking to sell my house in Spain. It's my one and only property. What taxes would I pay? I'm 74, widow, and a small pension. Been here 16 years. Okay, yeah. I have good news for you. The thing is, when you are fiscal resident in Spain and you sell your main home, the house that you've been living in at least for 3 years, and you are over 65, as this is the case, you will not pay any capital gains on the profit you are making, right? I will say again, when you sell your main home in Spain and you've been declaring that main home in your tax return as resident in the last 3 years, and if you are over 65, you won't pay any capital gains.
Good news there then.
Yeah. Especially with this lady or this gentleman that he bought the house 16 years ago, he's probably making a profit on that house. So if he is making any profit, he will not pay any taxes. And
no tax. We all like that. We like that answer. No tax.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have another one. Of those. For those that are below 65, if you are below 65, and you sell your main home, you can avoid paying these capital gains if you, with the profit that you are making, you buy a new house, right? So you have a house and your profit is, let's say, 100,000. If you invest a minimum of this 100,000 in a new house, then you will not pay also capital gains. But you need to invest. It's not the same case as the previous one, that just because you are 65 or over 65, you will not pay any taxes. This is for people that are below 65.
Okay, and Andrew Bell's got a question on capital gains tax as well, while we're still on the question of capital gains tax.
Well, this is hi David and Alejandro. Just checking on the capital gains tax rules that this not apply to main resident as is selling main property in the UK and then reinvesting in Spain the same year, even if this is in the first 6 months of the fiscal year. Well, this is I would say difficult one, not because of the question, is because it's not so clear. You are selling your what this Andrew is asking is that if you sell your main home in England and you make a profit and you come to Spain and you invest in a new house and invest the profit, if this is subject to capital gains in Spain. I would say that you have to be very, very careful with that, because Spanish tax office, I had a couple of cases that they didn't accept that, because they consider that you need to prove that this is your main home, you need to prove that the profit that you're making, and they are not very happy if the house is not in Spain. What applies to what I said before about if you are over 65 or you invest is through Spanish properties. So I would be very careful, and if you could avoid trying to apply this system, I think it should be better, because you could be in trouble, and when they got you, and they are not going to let you go. So it would be much better, in my opinion, although you can try and apply, to wait these months, as we said, that you should avoid, because this is a risky one. I've read some not court cases, but some directives that says that if you sell your main house in Spain and you go to another country and you invest the profit, they are accepting. But I'm not sure if the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. And I just Andrew says that the house was purchased in 1999. That was from the same person. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, that you could prove that it's your main house, but depending on who you find at the tax office, maybe you will win at the end, but it will be a nightmare, because you have to pay the capital gains, and then you will have to go to the court and so on. So if you could try to, Andrew, if you could try to avoid that, I think it is much better.
Okay.
But if you can't, you can try to apply and see what happens.
Nomad visa question for you.
If I have a nomad visa and we move out to Spain on that, and my husband would have been working in the UK, would any income here need to be declared for tax if we move before end of June? Yes. When you come to Spain to live, as I said, if you come to Spain to live and you are considered, because you stay in one calendar year more than 6 months, any income should be declared in Spain. Well, the exception could be that your husband is going to work often back to England, and he is like going to an office. If he's also working remote or with the phone or the way but he's based in Spain, I'm afraid that he should be paying taxes in Spain. And I would say something else. And I have many cases like that. People say, okay, I come to work to Spain, or I want to come to Spain, and my company says that they need to withhold the pay as you earn tax still in my payslip. And I say, no, that's not the case. When you come to Spain to live, they should pay you gross. And then you will have to pay those taxes in Spain as a fiscal resident. I have conflicts with other accountants in the UK about that, but at the end of the day, they give me reason, because they ask the HMRC, and they accept what I'm telling, because what we can't do in Spain is take in account the tax that you pay in England on a salary. So what we normally do is we have to pay in Spain, and if you paid any tax in England, you should ask for a refund. But if they pay you gross, there's not any problem at all, because you will pay the full in Spain.
Okay, and James in Alicante wants to know if you can help. You can help anybody anywhere in Spain. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do. We have clients all around Spain. No problem, because today, when everything could be done online. Well, the only thing is that we like to go with our clients to the foreign office, because the foreign office is it's not the best place to be. It's full of people and not, let's say, not very sympathetic people there. So we like to go with all our clients to the foreign office to make things smoother. If they are not, we are based in Almeria with 3 offices here. But if you are far away, if you are in Alicante, we normally can't send people there. Alicante, Malaga are not far, or if not, we always could find some colleagues that can help if you don't want to go alone.
And one more nomad visa here question. Sorry if it's already been asked already. Freelance, apply for the nomad visa. How long do you need to have been freelance, and how long do you need to have had your clients?
3 months.
3 months.
You need to prove that you've been working for your clients at least 3 months. And this is a good example. You need to know also is that when you come to Spain to live with the nomad visa, you need to prove that, and you could work for Spanish companies with a limit of 30% of your turnover.
Good. Yeah. Okay, and also Alejandro, I've got a quick question. A little while ago, I changed my mortgage, and they've started a new thing now at the notary where you have to go for an official reading of the notary details before you actually sign. So this is quite new. I mean, I've had bought and sold several properties here, and this is quite a big thing because it was my wife and I had to go and sit in the notary, and you make an appointment and they read it all out to you, and then they ask you questions, and they're quite in-depth questions where they tick the answers off in a box. So, and the questions they asked my wife and the questions they asked me were completely different. You know, it's like in the notary, they speak 100 miles an hour in Spanish. So is this just applying for, I mean, my Spanish isn't too bad, so I understood, but it's quite daunting if you don't speak Spanish. Is this just for mortgages, or is this now going to be a new thing in the notary?
Well, yes, this is this happens. This is a consequence of the problems we had in the past with how you say abusive clauses. Can you say that?
What? Sorry.
Clauses in mortgages that are not beneficial for people.
Oh yeah,
there were some kind of the banks were putting clauses in your deeds that they were not let's say very fair. So people went to the court, they appealed, and they won some kind of these clauses, and they won. So the government understood that their clients were not understanding exactly how the system of these mortgages were working. So they decided that the way to avoid that is that 15 days before or prior to signing a mortgage, you need to go and speak with the notary, and the notary will or needs to explain you and solve you and ask you if you understand what you are about to sign, to avoid that that you don't understand, that you're signing something that is not what you asked, and that there are clauses that you is not on your beneficiary. So that's why you have 15 days before that you are going to sign the mortgage. You have to go there, and the notary, let's say, must approve that you understand what you are going to sign.
Yeah, and apparently I spoke to the notary about this, and she was telling me that it's not just the British people, this is for everybody, because the mortgage companies, the banks, they're saying that people further on down the line are not understanding what was said to them. You know, I mean, it is a bit technical if you're not into it, you know, but and something to remember here is that I try and tell my followers that, you know, if you don't speak very good Spanish and understand the technical terms, you will need to take somebody that speaks with you and translates for you, because they do ask you specific questions and there's yes and no answers. So if you answer yes when it should be no, they understand that you don't understand. So this could be a problem. And I had to think a little bit about some of the questions because the answers were different to what they were asking my wife. So yeah, a bit of a shock. It was a little bit of a trick questions and that, you know. So yeah, it's a new thing, and if you don't understand this at the notary, make sure you take somebody with you that understands.
Yeah, well, I need to add to that we in our company, we have our legal department that we do conveyance process. We help our clients to go along the process of purchasing the property. And part of our role is for those that are asking a mortgage to buy that property. Part of the money, we will be with them, helping them to understand, first to translate these things, and second to, if they don't understand anything, to get that with the notary to explain how it works. So yes, I mean, this service is provided by our company, or I think any legal advisor, any lawyer would help people to do this thing, to do at the notary. But this is just if you are buying. I mean, this thing that you said about the mortgage is just if you are getting a mortgage. If you are buying with cash, you will not go along this process that you said.
Yeah. Okay. So if anybody wants to contact you, the contact details there also be in a link below this. And if people want to speak to you privately, you can do a video conference like we're doing here, but complete privacy. So if people want to do that as well, is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we do, and I like to do that a lot because we avoid that people make mistakes, and these mistakes can cost a lot of money. So it's just yeah, and they can contact us in the email that you are showing there, and we can organize. Now it's not very good times because it's Christmas time, but we can find some time to work to speak together in half an hour is done, or 45 minutes, and they normally people explain me their cases if it's a special case, and I can solve it. If it's something that we talk today, they can see any of the videos that we've done. Normally, I talk about these things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've had some technical problems getting this sorted out to last week and this week. So it's a new system we're using. So hopefully we can do more of these questions and answers for people, and maybe a more specific topic like the nomad visa when that comes in. We can talk about that a little bit more once we know more specifics on that. But I want to say thank you very much for your time today, Alejandro, and your questions. And if anybody that's listening or watching this, if you've got any questions for future webinars you would like us to talk about, any topics you want us to discuss, just let me have it in the comments box below. And we'll arrange with Alejandro to do this in the near future, hopefully in the new year, with some new information. And hopefully you'll be able to tell us some new information about the driving licenses.
Oh yes, that's something that, yeah, every time that we have any online meeting, it's like I hope hopefully we'll have something in the new year.
A typical saying in Spain is the mañana saying, but this is an eight-month mañana. You know, the Hugh Elliott has been saying it's coming soon, it's coming soon. So yeah, this is really reiterating the mañana syndrome. But hopefully we're looking at the new year. I say to people, I reckon it'll be that within January, your first weeks in January, we should get some good news. Any guesses on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I was those ones that said, no, there must be an agreement. There must be an agreement. They are extending. So that's why. But let's put in let's explain people, because maybe they don't know. For those especially that are looking to come with the nomad visa or this non-lucrative visa, the issue today is that since Brexit, the UK driving license, in theory, you could not use it if you came in 2020 or after, because they gave some extensions so you could be continuing using it, but those that came at that time or after, they cannot exchange the driving license, and it's not valid anymore, the UK driving license. Today, what we can say is that if anyone wants to drive, they should apply for a driving test. For those that are looking to come to Spain, today still, they have 6 months since they come to Spain that they can drive. It's not that you come to Spain and you cannot drive at all. If you are coming...
So somebody that comes here tomorrow, they still got 6 months from tomorrow.
Yes, if you come tomorrow for holidays, you come less than 3 months. That is the maximum period that you could stay here without a visa. If you can 90 days, you can drive because you are traveling. The same as you could drive anywhere else. The issue is for those that they apply for the non-lucrative visa. They want to stay here, and after 6 months, since they are here with any kind of visa, the driving license is not valid anymore. There's been some extensions since the end of 2020 where your driving license was valid, but this was ended by the mid this year. So now anyone that was in Spain more than 6 months and they didn't exchange back then, they can't. In theory, they can't drive in Spain. And I'm still saying that because of these extensions and because of what Hugh Elliott is saying and the embassy is saying, they say that there are still negotiations that are what I read is that they are done, but we are just waiting for the final release of how you can extend. And believe me that we have a very, very long list of people that will exchange, because at the end of 2020 was a hard time. Some people didn't know how to exchange. So many people, even if they were living in Spain, they couldn't exchange. So yes, luckily, beginning of the year it will be good news, but hopefully.
Good. Okay, well, thanks very much for your time today, Alejandro. I know you're a very busy person, and hopefully in the new year we can get together and do another in-depth interview like this. Thanks very much, and thanks for all the questions, everybody.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at britishexpatsinspain.com.